Hey everybody, welcome back. Today we are going to be having a little conversation while I make some soup bowls. These bowls are actually going to a local benefit where people prepay for a ticket. They get a bowl of soup and then they get to take home the pottery bowl, and the benefits, the money they raise goes towards a couple local charities that do good in the community. So in the vein of that, I had a couple things happen recently in and around my YouTube channel that were real inspiring to me, and I thought I'd share those with you guys while I make these bowls. So we're gonna have a little conversation, and let's go. Hey everybody, welcome back, and thank you for being here. And I just figured while I was making some of these soup bowls today, we'd have a little conversation. I don't know how well I'll be able to work through talking in this because I've got a little touch of a cold. Just got back from a family vacation, and a couple of my kids decided to share their cough with their dad, so we're working on that. So if there's cuts and breaks in this, it might be because I had a little bit of a coughing spell and I had to cut the video and come back in the middle of another pot when I finished my thoughts. So, but we'll make it through. But anyway, like I said, I hope this video sounds good. I know it should look better than my other videos. I bought a new light and a new tripod, just trying to make a little bit more better quality content. That's been one of my goals for this year, is to make a little bit more quality content in the sense of how it looks. I'm going to take maybe a little bit more time into video editing, a little bit more time into my thumbnails on YouTube, and trying to post more often on Instagram, social media, Facebook, those kinds of things, to keep people up to date on my work. Personally, I'm not a huge fan of social media in general. Not that I don't like it, but I don't use it a lot personally, in the sense that I don't use Facebook on a personal basis. I use it right now because it gives me a presence for my pottery on Facebook. I know I have a lot of friends and family that do want to follow what I'm doing on there, so that's another reason that I post on there. And then, of course, YouTube. I enjoy making videos, and I enjoy the content that I produce and that other people produce. And so I do enjoy it in that sense, but when it comes to posting all the time or every single day, thoughts like that just kind of get on my nerves sometimes. So I just think, but then I have to realize that not everybody's like me, and that some people love to use it every day, and that's a way that they feel connected in a community. And so, but I just would like to maybe produce more consistent and quality content this year. That's one of my goals. Not only to keep people up to date on what's going on, but also to help grow my business, grow my exposure of my work. So there's definitely a reason to do that. And so recently invested in just a little bit nicer equipment. I bought a really nice light and bought a new nicer tripod. And so working with both of those to help maybe make better content on my channel, and better pictures and video. So first off, I want to say just thank you to you guys for all your support, as I always do. I think you guys are a great community. I really appreciate having you here. Despite all my comments about social media, I appreciate you guys being here and being a part of this social media, and watching my videos and responding and all those kind of things. You know, it's great that I have very few, like negative comments, very few like thumbs downs on my videos, things like that, which, like I said, that's a whole nother thing that I don't get into as far as social media goes. That if I watched a video and I didn't like it, I would just turn it off. I would never leave an ugly comment. I would never put a thumbs down. But like I said, not everybody's like me, so I still get some of those every now and again. I just choose not to respond if I get a comment that I don't like, and would just leave it at that. So But as far as most of you guys are very kind and very thoughtful, and I appreciate it. And I'm glad the things that we do here on the channel help you in some way in your pottery or in whatever else you do. One of my goals with my pottery and with this channel is that I hope to inspire people, and not necessarily just because, you know, somebody else that makes pottery. It could be somebody that loves the art form but doesn't do anything with pottery or with ceramics, and if they just love to watch it being made, or love to see the finished products, maybe just loves to buy it and collect it. I hope that the work that I make inspires them to be better at what they do. I know I've mentioned that before in previous videos, and I truly believe it, that you know, artwork does that for people. Whether you're an artist or not, you know, you can be inspired by seeing great artwork, and it can help you be better at whatever it is that you do with your life. So that's one of the things that I hope to do with my work, is to inspire other people. And in the vein of that, I've got a really cool story about the YouTube channel. If you guys have been here recently, you probably saw the video I made about throwing a pottery sink. And started out that video talking about, I hope everybody had a good 2019 and wishing everybody well. And then I also said that, you know, talked about having a positive attitude and how I think that can shape the outcome of what happens to you. And so, you know, that was not planned in my video at all. A lot of things, sometimes things that I talk about in videos are not planned at all. Most of what I say is not really planned, other than in my head a little bit, maybe here and there. I never write a script. I never have cue cards that I'm following or anything like that. As you guys can probably tell, and some of you probably annoys that I don't, because I might ramble on at times like I am right now. No, I'm not rambling, but but I will tell you that I got a really cool email, a really awesome email from a lady from the Netherlands. Her name is Iris, and she had sent me a message that she does pottery as a hobby. What she does full time is she's a musical therapist in a place that helps people deal with depression and anxiety. And immediately when I read the email, I was like, wow, yeah, that could be a very stressful job. So she said that she makes the pottery to help give herself a release and help, as she said, to keep her own self centered. And it's kind of a neat idea, because I've been doing it as a career for so many years that I don't necessarily think about doing pottery as a hobby. But I can definitely see how that would be something that could help somebody just relieve stress and do something that they enjoy. And it doesn't necessarily have to be something where they're producing, you know, products to sell. They're just making it because they enjoy it, and that would be a way that it would give you a sense of creativity and satisfaction in producing something, even if it's just for yourself or just for the experience of doing it. But Iris said in the email that she recently had a really rough day. She was having a hard time with her pottery, and then she also had a really rough day at work where she really kind of had a breakdown. And I could totally understand that in that situation it would be hard to keep yourself up to, you know, dealing with all the stress of not only your own life, but dealing with other people's stress and anxiety. And she just had a really rough day where she just didn't work well, and she decided when she got home that day that she would try making some pottery, and she just felt like she didn't even have the strength to even center the clay. So she went to YouTube to try to find some inspiration for making some work. And she stumbled across my video. She probably was a subscriber before that, but she came across that video, and our little conversation at the beginning about having a positive attitude was exactly what she needed. She ended up finding the inspiration and the energy to make some pieces. She said she failed the first 3 times, even after that, but then she was able to make a plate as her 4th attempt. She felt inspired enough about the whole situation that she wanted to email me and thank me for that conversation and to let me know what happened. So I I emailed her back and told her that I really appreciated her letting me know what had happened. I also asked her if she wouldn't mind if I shared this story, because I thought it was a great thing that I told her in the email as well. I said there are times I think that we all probably can and do inspire others, even if we don't realize it. Sometimes just our actions or our attitude out in life can inspire and affect other people that are around us. I guess it could be not just inspire, it could be good or bad. We could impact those around us with our attitude and our actions, whether we realize it or not. And I was glad to be a small part in that for her. And I just really appreciated her letting me know that by sending me an email about that. So she responded and definitely said that she agreed that, you know, there are times that she probably doesn't realize it as well, that, you know, that she's impacting and helping other people outside of the obvious ways that she's doing that with her work, that there are probably ways that she's impacting and inspiring other people without even realizing it. So, like I said, I hadn't planned that in that video, but, you know, but obviously it was something I had been thinking about, or I wouldn't have said it. I truly, like I said, I truly believe that wasn't just a motivational speech, and it wasn't like just something, you know, off the top of my head. I mean, in a way it was, but at the same time, it's something that I truly believe about having a positive attitude and how that can affect the outcome of our lives. Because I truly think that, you know, you also attract to you what you are, and you know, you're going to repel good things from you if you're being negative and being, you know, down in the dumps. So if you can find a way to encourage yourself and be positive, that's going to help you in many, many ways in your life. And so if you're a negative type person, you probably are aggravated by this already, or you probably have already turned the video off, so it doesn't really matter by now. But if you haven't, and this is news to you and you've never thought of that before, you know, we can all also work better at being that way, because at times we all have our times that we want to be negative and we want to be, you know, upset and be a jerk and all that kind of things. And this is just a good reminder that we could all stay positive, because we don't know sometimes who we may be affecting, good or bad, and we would rather impact people for the positive. I would think most people would rather impact people for the positive. Like I said, just like the fact that I'm going to stand here and make 40 or 50 bowls and give them away to a charity so that they can help feed hungry people, and they can one of them is the food bank, and so they help feed, you know, people in our local community. And it's just one way I can give back. You know, I might not always have, you know, hundreds of dollars sitting in my bank account or sitting in my wallet that I can just give out to people that are in need, but I have a skill that I can make pottery. And, you know, for a lot less than somebody will pay per bowl of soup for this event, I can make these 40 bowls, and that's my way of giving, one of my ways that I can give back to my local community. And, you know, I'm glad to be able to do that. So I use YouTube as one of those outlets as well for me. That, number one, I get to talk, and if you want to listen, you're sitting there right now listening to me, you know, talk about this. But it's one way that I have an outlet to share things that I think about and things that I am passionate about, and also share about pottery, you know, which we talk about most of the time on this channel. And so if you don't like this video, I'm not going to apologize, but you know, like I said, you've probably already turned it off if you don't like what we're talking about already. And I guess I'll share one more story. And this is a really cool one as well. I had back probably in like October or so of last year, I had gotten an email from a guy that I had seen his name, I think a couple times, maybe commenting on videos. And he was asking about a couple of the large pieces that I had, a video that I had made when I fired a couple of my first two large pieces that I had made in my gas kiln. And he had seen them in that video, and he was inquiring about purchasing one of them. So I sent an email back and told him that they were still available if he was interested. I got a little bit of an air bubble. Need to get rid of that. So this guy, his name's Brian, emails me and asks me if references the video where I fired the 2 large pieces in my gas kiln, and asked me if either one of those 2 pieces were still available. And I actually said yes. I actually had both of them still. And he asked prices and then decided that he would like one of them. And of course, you know, it's kind of funny when you're dealing with anything that you're selling, that sometimes you're like, okay, well, you know, how serious is this person? I don't know him, and I'm just talking to him on email. But then I actually also get a call from a local gallery that I have pieces in, and he had also contacted that gallery, and they were letting me know that he had purchased pieces from them and had them shipped to his house. And so we get talking on email a little bit more, and he says that he doesn't live close by, and he can't come pick them up. And you know, the piece that he's interested in is like a 3-foot tall, 60-pound piece. And I was like, yeah, I can't ship that. That's just not going to be a possibility. I'm not willing to risk shipping something like that because I can't reproduce it, you know, just on a whim. I can't, you know, something smaller I could more easily reproduce than something that size. So in our conversation, Brian ends up telling me that he has ALS, which I didn't really know what it was at the time. Did a little bit of research and found out that it's a Lou Gehrig's disease. It's something where your muscles, your nervous system starts to deteriorate, and you lose control of mainly your arms and your legs, basically all your lower body. You still have, at least in Brian's case, he still has control of his head, but you can't talk. So he's sending me these messages on email because he can't even call me on the phone. And of course, there's a little bit of me that even gets skeptical again of like, okay, well, you know, I've been around the block with a few scams before, and you know, just trying to be cautious, but at the same time, I'm like, okay, well, he has bought pottery from a gallery that I'm familiar with and that I have work in, and they didn't say there was any red flags to them. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to go ahead. Anyway, I let him know. He tells me where he lives. I let him know that, hey, you know, it's a possibility that I could actually deliver the piece, you know, either on a personal trip, or maybe we would try to take a family vacation, and on the way I would deliver the piece to him. And so we ended up working that out, and that's actually the family vacation we just got back from. But I tell you what, going in and delivering that pottery to Brian and meeting him was pretty amazing, because to meet somebody that has a positive attitude, that can't even talk, has to look at a screen that follows his eye movements, and he can look at the keyboard on the screen one letter at a time, and then it says what he you know, what he types out with his eyes. And to see the smile on his face when I was able to bring that piece to him, and that was just really cool experience for me. And to realize that there's somebody out there that he's a military veteran. He was in the Air Force, and ended up, I'm sure he was a very physically fit and active person. And then to get to a point where you can't use your arms and legs, you can't even talk, and to still have a positive attitude about life. And he loves artwork because it inspires him, and he loves buying artwork as well and giving it away as gifts, because it's a very unique way of giving a gift to somebody. And just meeting somebody like that who has not given up, even though they have way more reasons to give up than most people, is pretty inspiring, if I do say so myself. So one of the things that Brian does is he watches YouTube videos, because that's one thing he can do. So he's probably watching this right now. So thank you, Brian. It was very nice to meet you. And I appreciate your service in the military, and I appreciate your support of my pottery business. And look forward to hearing about how your family likes the coffee mugs that you purchased as well. So, but as I said already, you know, you can only imagine the fact of how inspired I was leaving that meeting. And we even talked while I was there. And we were talking about that video. I shared Iris's story with him one-on-one, the story that I already shared with you guys just a minute ago. And And I told him, you know, it's just amazing how sometimes we affect people. We don't even realize it. And he was saying that he appreciated that about my videos and about my work. And I told him, I said, well, just like this, I said, look at this, you know, machine you're using to talk to me right now. I said, if the person that invented this would have given up halfway through, you wouldn't have any way to talk right now. I mean, he used to, his caregiver told me that she used to have to hold her finger over a keyboard, a physical paper, like keyboard, and scroll her finger across and wait for him to, like, you know, move his eyes so that she would know that's the letter he wanted, and she would write that down and then go to the next letter. That's just amazing that he's gone from that to being able to look at a screen and typing out and talking to me by look at something following his eyeballs across a keyboard on a screen, and then it reads out what he's typed. Like I said, that's just amazing to me, and it's awe-inspiring. And like I said, to meet somebody like that who not only is in that situation, but then has remained positive. He smiles nonstop. I'm sure he's not always happy. None of us are, but he's learned to make the best of the situation he's in, and it was pretty cool. So pretty inspiring to me, and you know, I just hope that I keep meeting people like that throughout my life that will continue to inspire me to be better. So meeting Brian, another thing came to my mind was that, you know what, there's times that I think, you know, who really needs me to make another YouTube video? Yeah, it's a way that I'm trying to grow, you know, recognition of my brand name and my work, help me succeed in my business. I also, you know, I enjoy making them. I enjoy talking, as you guys know. But also, it made me realize, you know, there are probably more people like Brian out there that he can't really do a whole lot physically, but he loves to sit there and watch YouTube videos. And watching people create pieces of artwork and masterpieces is just it's something that entertains and inspires him. And so that's just a whole nother way of thinking about the fact that social media and YouTube to some people is just a totally different outlet. You know, it's not just for, you know, we tend to think about, you know, if somebody overuses social media, they're just sitting in their basement, you know, they, you know, not going out in the real world and experiencing things for themselves. Well, you have some people that can't go out into the real world and experience things, and they do it through social media. So there are ways and people that use those forms of social media for more than just being lazy. So let me put it that way. You know, because there are times that I think, yeah, I even want my kids, you know, to not be on electronic devices all the time, and we have to battle that every single day. But, you know, there are ways to use it for the good, and that's hopefully one of the things that I'm doing. And there's just two examples lately for me that have inspired me and helped me realize, you know what, that there are ways that if we want to, we can use what we do to inspire and help other people, really no matter what we do. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Anyway, so there we go. There's a couple inspirational stories. At least they were inspirational to me, and I assume if they are to me, they will be to somebody else out there. So thank you, Iris, for emailing me. I appreciate your encouragement to me, even though you probably didn't mean it as encouragement to me. It was encouraging to me. And I'm so glad to hear that something I did inspired you and helped you. And thank you, Brian, for also encouraging me, even though it wasn't even what you were planning to do either. It did encourage me, of course, to sell a large piece of pottery. But more so than that, it encouraged me to meet you and to hear your story and to realize that even with all that you're going through in your life, you're still remaining positive, and you still take time to bless and encourage other people, and you love giving gifts, and you love giving pottery away to people, and you like watching the videos. And like I said, it was just very nice to meet you, and just thank you both for sharing with me. And you probably didn't realize that you were going to be blessing me by sharing your stories or yourself with me, but it did. And now I hope it goes on to inspire other people. And look at this, we're almost halfway done with the bowls that I'm making for charity here. And like I said, this is, again, something that I don't mind doing. I make pieces each year for different benefits. There's a couple different churches and schools around. There's our local hospice that I make pottery for. There's a soup benefit. There's several different charities that I love making pieces that they can auction off and sell pottery to raise money as their fundraiser. There's another local one that I'll be doing some ornaments for this year. I've done ornaments the last 2 years for our local hospice. But they're just different ways that I love to be able to give back, and because we can all do that. And like I said, there are times that I would love to just write a huge check to some of these charities and places, but I may not have the means to. But if I can use the talents that I've been given and the skills that I've developed and create something that somebody else is willing to write a huge check for, then the end goal is still met and everybody wins. The person that gets the pottery wins because they get something in exchange for their donation. The charity wins, and to be honest, I win because I get to still bless the charity that I want to bless by using the talents and skills that I have to make something that somebody else buys and gives that money to the charities. So thank you guys, as always, for being here and supporting the channel and watching the videos. I appreciate that, and I appreciate all the support throughout the Etsy. I'm going to have another sale probably March or April, but I'll make a video and notify you guys about that as time comes. The next wood firing is going to come up in March, and then I start a couple shows that time of year, and my next kiln opening sale here at my house as well is going to be in April. So there's a lot to look forward to. It's only mid-January now, and I'm already excited about the rest of the year, and I'm already excited about what I've already accomplished this year. So anyway, like I said, I always appreciate you guys, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks. Bye.